Have you ever heard a phrase that made you scratch your head? You know, those moments when someone says something and you just can't figure out what they mean? Maybe it seemed like everyone else understood, but you were totally lost. It's like being in on a joke that you just don't get. Welcome to the world of idioms. This is a place where words take on new meanings and phrases can be as colorful as a city street. Idioms are like secret codes in language. They are special phrases that convey meanings beyond the literal definitions of the words. They are groups of words that have a meaning different from the individual words themselves. It's like a hidden message that only makes sense when you know the code. Think of it this way: kick the bucket doesn't actually involve any kicking or buckets. It's a quirky way to say someone has passed away. It means someone has died. This phrase might sound strange at first, but once you understand it, it makes perfect sense in context. Idioms can be tricky, but they make language much more colorful and interesting. They add a splash of creativity to our everyday conversations. They help us express ourselves in creative ways. Instead of saying something plainly, idioms allow us to paint a picture with our words. Learning idioms is like getting a key to unlock a secret language. Once you have this key, a whole new world of expression opens up to you. Once you understand them, you'll start noticing them everywhere. In books, movies, conversations, idioms are all around us. You'll also be able to use them to sound more fluent and natural in English. It's like having a secret weapon in your language arsenal. So, are you ready to explore the fascinating world of idioms? Let's jump right in and embark on this exciting journey together. Our first stop is by the book. This phrase is often used in various contexts to emphasize the importance of following rules and guidelines meticulously. This idiom means to do something exactly according to the rules or instructions. It's like having a manual for every action you take and ensuring you don't deviate from it. Imagine you're baking a cake. If you do it by the book, you follow the recipe precisely, measuring every ingredient carefully. You make sure every step is executed as described, ensuring the final product is just as intended. We often use by the book to describe someone who is very strict or follows procedures closely. This can be seen in various professions where accuracy and adherence to guidelines are crucial. For example, my teacher is very strict. She does everything by the book. This means she adheres to the curriculum and school policies without exception. This means the teacher always follows the school rules and expects the same from her students. She believes that structure and discipline are key to effective learning. However, sometimes doing things by the book can be inflexible. In situations that require creativity or quick adaptation, strict adherence to rules can be a hindrance. Imagine a firefighter who always follows procedures strictly, even in an emergency where quick thinking is needed. In such high-pressure situations, the ability to adapt and make swift decisions can be more valuable than sticking rigidly to the rules. In such cases, a more flexible approach might be better. The ability to think on one's feet and improvise can sometimes save lives and prevent disasters. Understanding idioms like by the book helps us understand not just the literal meaning, but also the context and implications. It teaches us about the balance between following rules and knowing when to adapt. This balance is crucial in many aspects of life, from education to emergency response, and even in our daily routines. Next up, we have caught between two stools. This idiom describes a situation where you have to choose between two options. Neither one is good. It's like being stuck in a dilemma where both choices have unpleasant consequences. Imagine you have to choose between two jobs. One pays well but requires long hours, while the other offers more free time but pays less. You might say, I'm caught between two stools. I need the money, but I also need time for my family. This idiom perfectly captures the feeling of being trapped in a difficult situation with no easy way out. It's a common feeling we all experience at some point in our lives. Ever felt too shy or scared to speak? That's like clamming up. This idiom means to suddenly become silent, usually out of fear, shyness, or unwillingness to talk. Think about a clam closing its shell tight when it senses danger. Imagine you're at a party and someone asks you a question about a sensitive topic. You might clam up if you don't want to discuss it. Or, if you're being questioned by the police and feel scared, you might clam up and refuse to answer. Clamming up is a natural human reaction in certain situations. It's like a defense mechanism to protect ourselves from potential harm or discomfort. Section 5. Quitting cold turkey. Let's talk about cold turkey. No, we're not talking about Thanksgiving dinner. This idiom means to stop a bad habit abruptly and completely, without any gradual reduction. Imagine quitting smoking or caffeine all at once, without any weaning off period. For example, someone trying to quit smoking might say, I'm quitting cold turkey. No more cigarettes for me. This means they're determined to stop smoking immediately, without any gradual reduction. Quitting cold turkey can be tough, as it involves dealing with withdrawal symptoms head-on. However, it can also be very effective for some people. Section 6. The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Remember the story of the boy who tricked everyone by saying there was a wolf when there wasn't? That's where our next idiom comes from, cry wolf. This idiom means to raise a false alarm or make repeated false claims, leading to people not believing you even when you're telling the truth. Imagine a friend who constantly borrows money but never returns it. After a while, you might start to think, he's just crying wolf again. You stop believing his stories because he has lost his credibility. The lesson from this idiom is clear. Honesty and trustworthiness are important. If we keep making false claims, people will eventually stop believing us, even when we are telling the truth. Section 7. Let's cut to the chase. Sometimes we need to get to the point quickly without wasting time. That's when we cut to the chase. This idiom means to get straight to the most important part of something without unnecessary delays or details. Imagine you're listening to a long, rambling story and you're eager to know the ending. You might say, just cut to the chase and tell me what happened. In meetings or presentations, cutting to the chase is crucial for effective communication. It shows respect for everyone's time and keeps the focus on the most important matters. Section 8. The devil's in the details. Don't be fooled by seemingly simple things, because the devil's in the details. This idiom warns us that even small details can have a big impact, often in a negative way. It highlights the importance of paying close attention to even the smallest aspects of a plan or project. Imagine planning a big event. You might have a great overall plan, but overlooking small details like seating arrangements or catering logistics could lead to major problems. That's when the devil in the details rears its ugly head. This idiom is a good reminder to be thorough and attentive in all our endeavors. Sometimes, it's the smallest details that can make or break a project. Section 9. A different kettle of fish. Our next idiom takes us to the kitchen, or perhaps the fish market. A different kettle of fish means something is completely different from what was previously mentioned or expected. It's like comparing apples to oranges, or in this case, one type of fish to another, completely different one. Imagine you were expecting a relaxing beach vacation, but you end up in a bustling city instead. You might say, this is a different kettle of fish altogether. This highlights the stark contrast between your expectations and reality. This idiom is a fun and vivid way to express surprise or contrast. It emphasizes the distinct nature of two things being compared. Section 10. Down for the count. In the world of boxing, when a boxer is knocked down and can't get up before the referee counts to 10, they're down for the count. This idiom has extended beyond boxing to mean someone or something is defeated, exhausted, or unable to continue. Imagine a football team losing badly in the final minutes of a game. The commentator might say, they're down for the count now, with no chance of catching up. This means the team has effectively lost, with no hope of recovery. We use down for the count to describe situations where there's little hope of recovery or success. It paints a vivid picture of defeat or exhaustion. Section 11. Time to eat crow. Welcome to the final stop in our journey through Idiom City, where we explore the colorful and often humorous expressions that make the English language so rich and vibrant. Our final stop in Idiom City is a humbling experience, eating crow. This idiom is all about swallowing your pride and admitting you were wrong, even when it's the last thing you want to do. This idiom means to admit you were wrong or made a mistake, often publicly and with a sense of humiliation. It's like standing in front of a crowd and saying, I messed up, which can be quite a daunting task. Imagine having to eat something unpleasant after boasting about how delicious it would be. The taste of crow is metaphorically bitter, representing the unpleasantness of admitting fault. For example, imagine you confidently predict that your favorite team will win a game, but they lose badly. You were so sure of their victory, but now you have to face the reality of their defeat. Your friends might tease you, saying, looks like you're eating crow today. This playful ribbing highlights the social aspect of the idiom, where others acknowledge your mistake in a lighthearted manner. This means you have to admit your prediction was wrong, which can be a humbling experience. Reflecting on your error can lead to personal growth and a better understanding of your own limitations. While eating crow might be unpleasant, it's an important part of learning and growing. Accepting our mistakes helps us become more resilient and better prepared for future challenges. Admitting our mistakes allows us to learn from them and move forward. It's a crucial step in personal development and helps us build stronger, more honest relationships with others. Congratulations on exploring Idiom City with me. We've journeyed through a world of expressions that add color and depth to our conversations. Remember, learning idioms takes time and practice. Don't be discouraged if you don't get them right away. Persistence is key. Don't be afraid to use them in your conversations. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become in using these expressions naturally. The more you use them, the more natural they'll become. Happy idiom learning. Keep exploring, keep practicing, and soon you'll be an idiom expert, impressing everyone with your colorful language skills.